Okay, so this is going to take care of the windows. If you look at our windows here, we actually only have three types that we need. So you got this front double panel, a single panel, and then the door, and that door is here as well. And so I'll show you how we're going to build our Photoshop texture in a bit, but first let's just put the windows in. And so I know I'm only going to need two, and so I just start in order. And so what we want to do is we want to find that C1R1 window. So that's here, 3 meter by 3 meter C1R1 window, and copy that. Don't worry about how it looks. And then we're going to just put it in front of this. So hit 5 until it says user ortho in the top left, and then hit 1, and that's going to take you to the front of the building. And now we can kind of just center this how we want to. And now I know that this piece that juts out runs from this A1 to A8, so I know I'm basically centered there with that. And then you can kind of look at it from the side here, and you're going to see that it's sticking out. But I know that I'm good in my my X dimension there, so if I hit GY and drag it back, it's going to disappear. And so what I want to do is zoom in on this and go GY and use my left arrow key until it disappears, and then bring it back out, one click, hit enter, and then GY 0.02. Sorry, escape that, GY minus 0.02. And what that's doing is it's bringing me just far enough out from the building so that in Unity we won't have Z fighting. So the window's not actually touching the building, it's in front of it by that 0.02 meter. And then we're going to just copy this up and across. So let's do Shift DX3, pick both of them, Shift DZ3, and Shift R it all the way up. Alright, so this double panel you can also put off to here on the side or coming down the side, and we'll need 6 of those. Shift D X6, and then I'm going to just GY and drag it back and zoom in here, and GY and use my right arrow key here now till it fades away, disappears in that block. And now in the end you can see I'm not lined up, so I'm going to hit escape, I'm going to hit 5, sorry, make sure I'm in user ortho view, hit 1, and let's get this thing lined up. And so I'm going to move that G and the X and just get that lined up correctly. And then now GY. So GY right arrow till it disappears. Bring it out, one click, enter, GY minus 0.02. Shouldn't have the Z fighting issue, okay? So then let's get this second kind of window here. So I'm going to click on the C1R1, make it disappear. And I'm going to find this C1R2, bring that back out, copy that, and then we're going to put that actually starts on the 1, 2, 3rd level and goes up 3. And so we can hit 1 here and get this. It sits a little closer to the balcony. And then let's GY and drag it back. GY and use your left arrow till it disappears. Bring it out 1, enter, GY point or minus 0.02, and then Shift DZ3 and Shift R at once. Okay, so now we basically have that. And then all we need to do is put our doors in and then some windows on the side here. So let's go ahead and do the door. So I'm going to pick that window there and make it go away. The door is in the C3R2 and C3R3. So let's grab C3R2 and make it come back out here. I'm going to Shift D that, move it in the X, RZ minus 90 on that. And now the only thing I'm going to do here too is shrink it a little in the Y. And so you'll see when I GZ bring this up and GY bring it out a little, it's a little wide. And so what you can do is just go SY and sort of eyeball it, scale it in GY, and now move it over. Now remember the white part's transparent. when we bring it into Unity because it's on a transparent plane, so you're not going to see these other parts. GX, right arrow till it disappears. Bring it out 1, enter. GX minus 0.02. And then we're going to just duplicate it up 6, so Shift D, Z3, Shift R it all the way up. And then we also want 6 of these on the other side, so Shift D, X6, and then RZ90. And then I'm going to just hit 1 here, so I'm facing straight on, and G, X, and drag it over. And that looks pretty good there. And then we got to go GY and drop it back. And then zoom in, GY, right arrow till it disappears, out once, GY minus 0.02. Alright, that takes care of the doors. So the only thing we have left to do now is the windows on the sides here. And that's going to be just this C1R1. So you can just come up here and duplicate that. Move it RC minus 90. And then if you hit 3 here, it brings you to the side of the building, but this is the right side. If you hit Control 3, it brings you to the left side of the building. And so now we could see it. Let's first bring it out far enough so you can see it, GX, and then Control 3. So now you can see, and you can kind of line this up how you want. I may drop this one down a little to be just close to the bottom so that I can sneak 2 of them in there since I've got that little jut out. GX, use your right arrow key, make it come out once, GX minus 0.02, and then just copy this once, see how that looks. So that's not bad, but I'm just going to move it down in the Z, and just, you can use your numpad arrow to drop that down, and that'll look right. So just 2 windows there underneath the little jut out. And then let's grab all 6 of these and bring them around the side here. Shift D, X, let's see, 3, 6, minus 6, rotate it minus 90, and then bring it back in the Y. Bring it out in the X. Alright, so then hit Control 3 to get yourself lined up there. And some of this you just have to just kind of eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's probably better if it's not perfect, to be honest. Okay, now I'm going to copy this on the Y, drop it back 3, do that again. Looks like we're maybe hanging off just a little bit there. Nope, that's pretty good. And so in the end, the only thing I didn't do was get these at the right depth, and then I'll delete some of them to make it look a little more random. GX. So use GX and use your arrow keys here. Out once. GX minus 0.02. And then, I don't know, get rid of this one. And that's fine. And then let's just copy this and drop this on the other side. Shift D, X, and you're moving it 18 the other way. And then you're going to move it 180 around, and then GX, come out, and then just 3, sorry, escape. 3 is going to get you on the side of it, numpad 3, and then GX, you can use the arrow key to get this to come out. Sorry, get that out first. GX, move it. GX 0.02, 3, and then line this up. and maybe drop 2 of these down. -3. Alright, let's call it quits on the windows there. The building's basically how we want it. The only thing we got to do now is put the window all on the same layer, and so you're going to do that by selecting all your windows, and then we're going to join them just like we've done the other layers, which I don't know if we did for the railings, but we'll have to do that as well. Remember, you don't have to do this. Geez. If you make a mistake there, I don't know how to do it other than just start over. Remember, we're doing this to make our life in Unity easier, so that when we're texturing the windows, we can just drag and drop on one window and it will propagate to all of them. If you don't do this, then you would have to change each window in Unity by hand and just drag and drop. So, gosh darn it. Bummer. At this point, it's maybe looking easier to do in Unity. I just, for whatever reason, I don't know how to deselect when you're in object mode. And I could look it up, I'm sure. It works in edit mode, but when I'm in object mode, it doesn't work just right for me. So go ahead and join these and then rename those. That layer window. And then let's do the same for the railings. And then we'll do it for the balconies if we didn't do it, do that as well. And I'm just shift left clicking on all those. Let's see, so we've got the roof separate, we've got the stone, the brick, the windows, and then we just got to do the porch. And I guess we'll tie the jut out into the porch as well, because it's going to be the same material. Remember, you're pairing things that are the same materials. You don't have to do it, but I just like to do it. And we'll just call this balcony. Alright, the last step before export into Unity, I'll explain here in just a sec.